Hey everybody! Welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac. Afterbirth Plus. Blue Baby Run. We always talk about things taking time off of your life. You go, oh, like that exam took a year off of my life. Whatever adds to your life. Nobody ever eats a salad and goes like, oh, that added like 30 minutes to my life. BE91A8PB. Probably because we're all aware of the ever-encroaching specter of death that haunts us all. Anyway, we have the tonsil to start with here. I believe this is the tonsil, at least. It's one of those items that's relatively new, so I usually, like, rely on picking it up to know the name. It's a smaller, more flesh-colored Bob's brain. Well, that's a little racist, isn't it, NL? I mean, someone could have green flesh. Haven't you ever seen The Mask or Shrek, for example? Sure, fair enough. Gamora from the Guardians of the Galaxy films. Of course, also green skin. I don't know where I'm going with this, but either way. What I was going to say is the Blue Baby run that we had yesterday, or, you know, whenever that episode went up, was pretty tough. Wasn't the hardest run we've ever had, but was pretty tough. For the opening of it, at least. We went down to half a Spirit Heart on the first floor, and I thought for sure we were going to go down, but instead we managed to actually get kind of, like, unbelievably out of control by the end of it, and that's nice, but things are always a little fragile near the start of the run, and that never holds true more than when you're playing as Judas here. So I love our damage. 7.01 damage on the first floor is ridiculously strong, but we need HP. Dude, Jacob's Ladder is also awesome. And so is getting a golden poop. But as good as Jacob's Ladder is, it's not HP. So, you know, we could have 100 damage, but if we get hit by a single champion, we're going down in an early round. And, hey, sugar, I'm going down singing, is my guess. Okay. That's not really what I'm looking for either. Really what I am looking for is a key. And then if we get a key, we can probably buy a Spirit Heart. And also have a chance for an arcade on the next floor anyway, but... Ooh, it's... yeah, that's what was bothering me there. Kind of a scary situation. There are champions, and now the champion is on fire. I can't imagine that's a positive thing for our situation. But look at that. There's a key. Only an idiot would open the golden chest here, so... just joking. I almost got you there. I could feel the fear. You know what? Oh, I hate it. Why would you do this to me? But we got a second key. We got a third key. What I'm thinking is we should actually go to our boss fight before... pardon me. Before we go to the shop, because there is an extra heart in here. And then if we get the super excellent shop that I always love that has 2 lucky pennies on it, but also has some enemies, we won't be as afraid. Unless they're champions, in which case we'll die. But, okay, so here's what you do. 2 minutes, 40 seconds in, no Skype messages for, like, weeks here. Here you go. You would think that this is, like, there's some statistical sampling, you know, bias involved here. With the fact that I get Skype messages as soon as I start Isaac episodes, but I honestly don't know that that's true. I want to get PhD here is the thing. Which is why I went back. But I also want, or even need the Spirit Heart. I don't care so much about an arcade, but I really, really care about survival. Let's start with PhD. It's more fun. We get I Can See Forever, so that gives us a second secret room somewhere, which we should try to find before we move on. This is good. We got plenty of time here. I really, at this point, there's our secret room. I'm not doing, you know, 5 Isaac episodes. Oh, right. I'm not doing 5 Isaac episodes on the average day. I'm doing, you know, like 1 to 3 a day. The fact that I almost always seem to get a message right after I start is actually becoming, like, increasingly mind-boggling to even myself. Dude, really? A little petty, don't you think, game? There we go. Ooh. So there was an enemy super close to us that died, thankfully. We got a bomb, Perthrow, Dagaz, pop it, that's huge. Of course, Perthrow. Dagaz again, also huge. Hagalaz, not that relevant. Perthrow, Awaz. Use Awaz, try to find a black market maybe. And then Perthrow, we don't need to buy a Spirit Heart anymore, and I don't care about money. Apparently there was a Spirit Heart back in this room that I totally whiffed on. So we never needed to find ourselves in this dangerous place to begin with. I will go back for the Spirit Heart. It might seem like we don't need to, but keep in mind, if we take a deal with the devil, we'll only have 2 Spirit Hearts remaining here. So where the heck was this? Oh, it was in the fire. I didn't even notice. And you know what? With 1 bomb... no, what do we care about an arcade? We got no money, or we got 1 HP, and we almost always give away 1 HP on the 2nd floor, so it's not like it's liable to become too relevant afterwards. But still, the exploration that we did there helped us out a ton, and we are, like, in a pretty good spot here. Should peep this. And we saved our bomb, and it ended up paying very high dividends for us. We didn't get 4 Spirit Hearts out of it, but we got 2 Spirit Hearts out of it. I'll take it. Alright. I'm not suggesting that my colleagues have nothing better to do than sit around and... Oh, Northernlion has started playing The Binding of Isaac Rebirth on Steam. Time to send him a Skype message. What I am suggesting is that maybe, you know, they keep a similar schedule to me. And in the morning, they like to take it a little easy, you know, drink some coffee, catch up on the day's news and other happenstances. Not a huge fan of Leo, obviously. Would have re-rolled it if I'd known that it existed in the first place. And then, excuse me? 4 Spirit Hearts out of a rock that I didn't even see was tinted. Maybe they see me start to play Isaac and they go, okay, it's time to, like, you know, get down to business. Time to start my workday, which apparently involves sending a Skype message. I'm not... It could also just be a coincidence. I could be misattributing it. It doesn't happen with other videos, though. It's not like I start to play Dead Cells and I get a Skype message. I really don't understand it. I think I might be the victim of a very elaborate prank that is really completely meaningless. But anyway, let's go. So the ideal outcome for us here is very, very obvious, I think. Deal with the devil. 2 guppy items. One of them's inactive. We reroll it into a 3rd guppy item after we take it. It's a dream come true. We picked up 11 Spirit Hearts in the past, you know, half of a floor, so I'm pretty positive about that. We got 1 item, it's Demon Baby, but at least we have Precedent. And then we got Binky, which is really good for our tier delay, and I guess if you want to focus on the positives, we've got, you know, Permanent Polaroid Invincibility already enabled here, well in advance. But not really a huge... turn of events for us. But I mean, what do you want me to say? Look at this run. We got 10.13 damage and a higher than average rate of fire. These are the kind of runs where you get them and you go back and watch episodes where I, you know, die as Judas or say that Judas is one of the harder characters to win as, and you go, what is this guy talking about? Well, I mean, I guess I would, in my own defense, I would say Judas is very easy to win with. If you're looking to get the fastest win possible, you'd probably want to give Judas a chance. Maybe Azazel instead, but you get the idea. But he's also one of the easiest characters to lose with. If I've got a gun to my head, you know, win the Binding of Isaac or we'll pull the trigger, I'm not taking Judas. I'm probably taking Isaac, if I'm being honest. Because even Azazel can get a little spotty from time to time. It wasn't worth doing this, but I'm glad that we at least got the Mimic. 48-hour energy, we won't even really take advantage of it all, but... Tech 0.5. Sometimes, you know, when you're lucky, you're lucky. And on this run, I think we definitely fit the bill right now. But that's that, man. I mean, we can pretty much just start talking about our farts for the rest of this episode, and we'll probably be okay. But I'm not going to do that, because it's kind of gross. I know it's a human bodily function, but... most bodily functions, I prefer if people kept them private. I guess I'm a prude, you know? You live long enough, you grow up to see yourself become on the wrong side of history, I suppose. I don't think people should fart in public if they can avoid it. If you have to, and Lord knows we've all had some... I have a good feeling about that mushroom up there, but Lord knows we've all had some urgent flatulence situations. I wouldn't doubt that whatsoever, experienced it myself. You gotta do what you gotta do. Told you. But I think for the most part you should try to hold it in. I still, you know, we talked about it on the show. And I think probably a slight majority... Ooh, I like this. A slight majority agreed with me. A slight majority's mask. I think we're just going to head down. Said that burping is gross if you do it in public. I agree, because I posited that in the first place. That's right, I'm the first person in history to ever suggest burping is gross. Pretty high opinion of myself. But no, what I mean is, on the show I said that I think burping is a little gross, but only if it's a deliberately exaggerated... Oh, so stupid. I thought we could make it, but I didn't look at the geography close enough. Only if you exaggerate the burp. This is my opinion, because sometimes on the NLSS, my nuance gets lost out of the interest of trying to be entertaining. I mean, I could get down with having some extra trinkets, even though we got 0 trinkets as is right now. If you're, drinking a carbonated beverage and you go like, "Brr," then I'm okay. I don't think you're a bad person. I don't think you're a bad person either way. Unless you're like, "Brr," and then you say something horribly bigoted, But if you, summon using your diaphragm, 30 gallons of air into your chest, and then you go, "Brr," and you just, belch it out, then I think that is disgusting. Yeah, it's, plus, we'll take this. I don't think duality is all that in a bag of potato chips. Very common phrase that's hip with the kids these days. Pheromones is just okay. World card will pop. Yeah, we'll do everything that's available on this floor. We got so much time. We've sped up, ridiculously. But farts are not the same because farts always smell. Almost always smell, at least. I know you're good. Haven't you heard the song by Outkast? I know you like to think your shh don't stank, but lean a little bit closer. You'll see roses really smell like poo poo poo. If you think your farts don't stink, you're probably just used to them. You're high on the smell of your own farts, as they like to say. As I like to say. But burps don't always stink. But people go, they think that burps are odorless. It's not true. They just smell like the inside of your own, mouth and nose. And as a result, you might be tempted to think that they don't smell, but really they just smell like your own breath. So, it's odorous to other people. But a burp is sometimes involuntary. I think, you can get gas in the diaphragm that is more painful or discomforting than gas in your colon. Gas in my colon, gas in... Okay, this has gone on way too far. All I'm saying, I'm not trying to be gross, I'm actually just saying that I sympathize with those of you who think those bodily functions are gross. You definitely should not ejaculate in public unless you're in a place that's, meant for it. Defecating in public, I'd prefer if you didn't. Please get behind closed doors. We don't want this. Come on. It's an insult. Give me that. At least blow these up. And that was obviously not worth the cost of admission, but okay. Continue moving on. Kind of tempted to buy Spirit Heart, because we have spent a lot of money on Spirit Hearts, or a lot of Spirit Hearts on Deals with the Devil, is what I mean to say here. But I think we're fine. We could save it and maybe get something on the next floor instead. Same thing with, people sometimes take it to the extreme and they go, oh, what about sneezing in public? The thing is that sneezing is an involuntary action most of the time. If you're forcing yourself to sneeze somehow, first off, congratulations, because to be able to create a sneeze out of nowhere is an excellent skill to have. I have a little spot on the interior of my nose. If I kind of irritate it with a rolled up tissue, I can force myself to sneeze and it feels excellent. Because, especially if you're really stuffed up, force yourself to go on 2 or 3 sneezes and then clears you out pretty nicely. Plus it just feels good. I usually spend an hour or 2 a day just making myself sneeze. What, you're the weird one. That's obviously a lie. I actually spend most of all day making myself sneeze. But it's involuntary, you get less than a couple of seconds between your brain sending the signal that you need to sneeze, and the sneeze actually basically involuntarily coming out. So I don't begrudge anybody a sneeze. Coughing, I'm like 50-50. I do think people, they cough so much that it blows my mind sometimes. And I know that people can be sick or they can be ill, but still, like, you never notice it more. Like, Kate plays in these classical music concerts. Symphonies, I've heard them called. Fancy New World phrase for it. Have you heard of these things? A young man by the name of Ludwig von Beethoven in Austria has started to... You get the idea. There's a joke in there somewhere. You're supposed to hold your noise until, like, in between movements of a symphony. And whenever there's, like, a break in the music, it's like there's a symphony of coughing that happens. And I'm happy people have been holding it, but I'm like, how many times do you cough on a daily basis? Maybe it's a, you know, a young man's game talking here. I occasionally, if I spend, like, a lot of time talking over the course of a day, I mean, it's tempting, but I resent this choice, because the game's basically being like, hey, would you like to accidentally end your own run? And the answer is no. We have not gotten our item room on this floor. Let's go back. Sometimes if I'm talking a lot for a day, I start to get, like, the throat feels like it's chewed up, and I get a little of a, you know, a nervous tick or a cough or something going on in there. But maybe it's just a symphony full of YouTubers, which is really my own personal nightmare when it comes to where I'm going to be spending my time. Have I evolved fully into a self-hating YouTuber? No, I don't think so. I think there's a lot of YouTubers who, and Twitch streamers by the same token, for sure, that are aware of what they do and aware that it's entertainment, but also kind of absurd, and they have a sensible opinion of themselves. But there's also a lot of YouTubers who, you know, and I don't blame them, because you get famous when you're like 20 years old. You're like, I am a god. Not really, like, I don't think I'm a god. I'm just saying, like, I have met some people. Not many, and I mean that sincerely. I met way more, like, lawyers who were super into themselves, but then I've met YouTubers who were super into themselves. But definitely, yeah, why not? I have met some YouTubers where, you know what, they think their don't stink. And I feel like, if anything, I'm glad that I'm a little bit older than maybe the average age of a professional YouTuber at this point. Because I grew up in an era where this job didn't exist as, like, a viable career path, even when I was an adult. And we kind of just, like, accidentally created it, which was cool. But if you grew up being, like, 15 and then wanting to be a YouTuber and then succeeding, more power to you, and I mean that sincerely. But at the same time, I could see how that would be like, I've achieved all of my hopes and dreams, and I expected to. And that's what's interesting to me. I don't even know where I'm going with this, for the most part. Well, all I'm saying is that eventually, when this Twitch YouTube thing ends, which could be tomorrow or, you know, 100 years from now, probably closer to tomorrow, but we'll see. I'm like, in my head, I have, like, built up guilt from sleeping in so much that I'm like, I gotta work as like a coal miner for a little while or something. I'm not saying that's a bad job necessarily. I'm just saying, because some of you might be listening to this on your phone while you're working in a coal mine. Probably not being a miner. That's not really my demographic. But, you know, you could work in the admin department of the coal mine or something like that. Do you still have to take that cool elevator down every day with the headlamp? That would be like, if I worked IT at a coal mine, I'd still be like, just give me a headlamp and let me take the elevator with the real men, like, once every couple of weeks, please. Austin Last Grey Wolf is now playing Gary's mod. It's like the start of a new era. I know Austin streams roughly like around the time that I start recording most days. This is a great room, by the way. It's always Enter the Gungeon or PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and I'm totally okay with that. I like watching him play both. To see Gary's mod here, it's a surprise, but a welcome one. Something, Darth Plagueis. Don't tell me I pronounced it wrong. I saw all 3 of those movies in theaters, okay? And even as a 13-year-old, may or may not have had a thing for Natalie Portman. Definitely did. But, Who didn't, first? Even then, though, I was like, Attack of the Clones is pretty bad. It's not a great movie at all. I thought I hit Q there. There we go. So, the only thing I'm disappointed about on this run right now... You don't understand, dude, okay? You don't understand what it was like to start puberty around the time that Natalie Portman was in Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. It was a golden age! Too much information. Let's grab Pokego. I didn't actually mean to grab the Spirit Heart, but that's okay. Temperance, similarly, I just don't care about. But the only thing that disappoints me on this run is that we got too big too fast. And now we're in this situation. If we can get a teleport card, we can make something happen with Temperance here. But first, we need that teleport card. So this one makes you small. Try not to take too many of those, but it doesn't matter too much. Nothing. We got too big too fast on this run. We had 7 damage by the time we left the first floor, so now we're 5 floors later and I've got 10 damage, and I'm like, well, this run's really slowed down. Well, have you considered using Book of Belial, an item that's been in the game for 10 years, and you should really know at this point how to use this item and to use this item every few rooms? Because, I mean, why are you not using it? It doesn't make sense for you to not use... See, look, I didn't come to YouTube to get backseated, alright? If there's one thing you know about Northernlion, it's that he hates getting advice in the comments. When has advice in the comments ever helped me? Well, what about that time in Kerbal Space Program where you tried to launch an airplane without having any wheels? You just used... Oh, except for that time and 1 to 2,000 other times, I encourage you, I dare you to come up with an example of when audience feedback has ever helped me. Okay. Boss rush attempt. This might not be a bad time to fight Krampus. Yeah, that's perfect, actually. So, get Lump of Coal, hopefully. Works well with Tiny Planet. Keep your Spirit Hearts as high as possible. I don't want Krampus's head. I will say it's got to be a pretty good item to make me want to grab it here. Scabies is okay. Varicose Veins is okay, but the rest of them, it's just not worth it. Like, Boss Rush, if we don't have a teleport card and we're not killing waves like nearly instantly and it's not a daily, which I should do some more of here, maybe in the future, but I ain't interested. It's too much of an ask for not that much value. Just a great sound, right? Said nobody ever. This run doesn't need anything, and from a commentary standpoint, that puts me in a weird spot, because I just gotta keep going off on this weird tangent about how I don't respect other people who do my job, or alternatively, you know, bodily functions that gross a lot of... No, okay, we did it. I just don't want to have to do that room again. Bodily functions that gross a lot of people out, so it puts me in a weird situation, you know? No guppy items, or really anything of value here whatsoever. I'm gonna get hit. Oh. Well, no, it was worth it because we got a Spirit Heart. Not even a joke. I'll take the Spirit Heart. You never know when that's going to come in handy. This might be another candidate for a Hush run, and maybe a chance to redeem myself after the terrible decision I made in the Hush fight, you know, 1 or 2 episodes ago. I can't remember at this point. It's the one where I tried to do like an amazing Dark Judas play, but instead cost myself like, you know, 8 Spirit Hearts or something. I don't know. Let's move along here. I can't believe I didn't get hit there. I braced for impact like 5 times. You gonna make me re-roll a good run? You're gonna make me re-roll a good run. You know what? I respect it. We've got Ipecac, Relic. We got 46 damage. We no longer have Stompy. 46 damage, of course, is... Oh, 46 damage and homing Ipecac is very, very good. Our HP is also fine. This is the rare reroll that's actually like... Oh, no, we're occasionally shooting out of the back of ourselves. Still, with the Relic once every 4 rooms, this isn't a big deal. It's one of the rare rerolls that's just, like, really good in every conceivable category, I think. which is, again, kind of like, I'm looking for the Zane. First run of the day, I always like to start a little slow. First video of the day, really. I always like to start a little slow and then, you know, ease into it. But really, by like 30 minutes in, which we basically are at this point, I'm down for some Zane. I'm not afraid of the Zane. I'm warmed up, I'm eager, ready to go. Hi, eager, I'm dad. Don't ever say that to me, okay? I don't respect that dad joke. As a classic purveyor of dad jokes, the high blank I'm dad joke, it renders you excommunicado. Is that incommunicado? Persona non grata. Can't enter a boat race, as they said on Flight of the Conchords. Okay, take the pill. We used to have PhD. We still do, but we used to too. HP is a little dangerous, but only if we end up hurting ourselves, which, well, likely only if we end up hurting ourselves, which can happen, obviously, and did literally just happen with Ipecac, but that was just me trying to illustrate a point of how dangerous things could be if we stopped paying attention. Now that we've illustrated that point, there is no need for us to make that same mistake in the future. Love having good speed. And I'm not talking about a speed stat, I'm talking about... Have you heard of this? Methamphetamines. I don't know if there's going to be a Jay Leno joke in there somewhere, but I can't compose it at runtime. Yeah, I heard that they're manufacturing a new amphetamine in the Golden Triangle of Laos. Is that right, Jay? Yeah, it's called Speed 2 Cruise Control. Speed 2 Cruise Control. Thank you for the spirit heart. We do occasionally have Loki's Horn plus... I think it's Loki's Horn, at least. Plus Bookworm. Yeah. Which is... I wouldn't say necessarily causing problems, but you can see how it could cause problems, because there's not very many safe places to stand when you're shooting a bomb out of 4 parts of your face. Really, the only safe place to stand is, like, within maybe the middle 25% of the level. So we just gotta try to minimize the amount of damage we take. Kinda hoping it'd be greed, actually. Although I don't know why, now that I think about it. What do we get out of a greed fight at this point? But, I think it becomes almost a numbers game at this point. If we're able to, minimize the amount of damage we take in preventable situations, and then just accept that we're going to take it in some unpreventable situations, that might tip the scales enough for us to be able to win this run with relative comfort. I think either way we got a good chance to win, but... That was pretty dumb. Yeah, I think either way we've got a good chance to win, but... To win, as comfortably as possible. I see that turret up there. There's just no means for me to grab it, so I'm just trying to stay mobile like track 3 off of Who's Next from 1972. We did lose our Eternal Heart, but I'm out. I think it's clear I cannot actually fight the Hush in this situation reliably, so I think we should bounce and save ourselves. Take it on me. Let's go. We could also, I mean, even then I wasn't trying to hit. We could try to, just... Oh, thank you, Infamy. Take advantage of the fact that we have Rotten Baby and 46 damage, so... Our flies will crush it. And we could just shoot to miss. In some situations, at least. If it looks like shooting to hit would hurt us, then we could shoot to miss. Actually, Hematemesis is really good. Guaranteed at least 1 HP back. See, that's what bothers me, is that situation right there, because what can you do? Don't remember what this does. It's occasional halitosis, maybe? Suffocation, no breathing. Give me a brush and some mouthwash Listerine-ing. I can't... Every time I hear Last Resort, which is very rare and always self-inflicted in the modern era, I can't hear it without hearing the mashup we conceived of, where it's Papa Roach and Bach's, like, viola concerto. Cut my life into pieces, this is my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing, don't give a if I cut my arm bleeding. You know, they always use that in, like, commercials for frozen lasagna and stuff. But, like, deluxe frozen lasagna. I'm not talking about this, you know, 70 cents per lasagna meal. I'm talking about the, like, you know, $2.50 per lasagna meal. Let's go. Okay. We should be fine. I mean, it is a fast run. I mean, we got very fast to start with, and then it just keeps getting faster. That's weird. You don't normally get a different style chest down here. These are terrible, by the way, but, like, Brown Nugget is sort of okay. Wow, what a just colossal waste of... I didn't even mean to take that. What a colossal waste of a chest floor. Are you kidding me with these Loki's horn shots? Our luck stat is also 0, so I'm not expecting much help. And we have Curse of the Unknown. So really, like, if there was ever a time that it seemed likely or plausible that we could die, it would be right now. The run has been, this final floor at least, has been constructed in such a way that it should be conceivable that we would lose. Which is very annoying for me. It really did take the perfect storm starring John C. Reilly and George Clooney to make this happen. So I think we're at 4+1 right now. I'm going to try to keep, like, a running count just to use hematemesis properly. So I think we're at 4+2. That just means, I mean, it's not like it's a standardized nomenclature, but it means to me that we've got 4 red hearts and 1, oh, I rotated the other way, and 1 spirit heart. So now I think we're 4+1. Just keep that in mind, the rhyme we designed to explain in due time. When we get to, like, 1+1, or alternatively, as the mathematicians like to call it, 2, we'll probably use it just because I want to build in some errors. So I think we're at 4. No, we're at 6, actually. Okay, fantastic. That's great that we know. We're at least 6. No, I don't want moms. It does. I mean, it doesn't really matter. But I don't want this one. I didn't sign up for this one. Wish I could disable Loki's horn. Get out of here. I don't want you anymore. If that's moving up, then I'm moving out. I think we're at 6+1. I think we're at 6. I mean, prepare. I think we're at 5. Prepare for some of the worst commentary you've ever seen in an NL episode. And you're going to be like, don't worry, NL. I lived through no key meta. Yeah, but this isn't going to be no key meta. This is going to be like episode 90 of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds level. You gotta laugh at yourself, okay? That's the thing. I have actually forgotten what our HP was at now. Maybe we're like 4+1, 5+1, somewhere in there. Please just give me full HP so I never have to worry about it. Well, I would have loved for that last one to have not been picked up, just so we would have known that we were at max HP. Whatever. Let's just stick to standard NL style. Now we're at max HP. Standard NL style is, you know, let the chips fall where they may. I love it when your deuces are wild. Other songs about gambling. Luck be a lady tonight. What does that mean? Wait a minute. This is a bit that's dawned on me as I'm saying it here. Every Aerosmith song is about intercourse. Even, you know, I've been crying just again. And, you know, don't want to miss a thing. All of them. Love in an elevator, that's the only one that's not. That one's actually just about working at an elevator manufacturing plant. Because he's loving an elevator, living it up while we're going down. Because the stair market is heating up, and elevators, you know, it used to be back in the day, you know, you're really rich, you buy a mansion, you get your own elevator put in it. This place, you know, not anymore. People are trying to be healthier these days. They might get a stair lift, you know, but they're not going to get an elevator in this modern era. It just doesn't make sense. So when Steven Tyler says, I love it when your deuces are wild, it really sounds like, is he not making the assumption that perhaps this is a song about anal intercourse? I didn't bring my cell phone here, otherwise I'd look into the lyrics. I don't remember the lyrics at all. It's just, I love it when your deuces are wild, yeah, and something loving so fine. I love to look into your big brown eyes. They talk to me and seem to... Your big brown eyes? Oh, he's done it. Wake up, sheeple. They talk to me and seem to hypnotize. You say the things nobody dares to say. I'm not about to let you fly away. My lover with no jet lag. We stay up all night in my sleeping bag. You got a heart-beating rhythm from the subterranean. I really love you, little girl. I don't need to explain. Dude. I'm telling you. I love you because your deuces are wild, girl. Like a double shot of lovin' so fine. What's a double shot? As far as I'm concerned, go to Starbucks. That's a number 2. Okay, so I might be making like a little stretch. But the song's about deuces. As in dropping a deuce. And it's wild. So I think you know what he's saying there. And then secondly, he loves looking into her big brown eye. Think about it. It's just like Mud on the Tires, that country music song, you know? And with a little luck, we might just get stuck. Put a little mud on the tire. Okay, we're done. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. But for now, thanks for watching. And I'll see you next time.